Sit up nice and tall and notice your spine. See how straight you can get it, and so that you have just the natural curves of your spine. Notice where the head is in space and see if you can line the ears up on top of the shoulders. And bring your attention to your hands. Notice if the palms automatically are facing down or up. And does one of those feel better to you than the other? Or does it better to have them stacked in your lap? And find which way feels best to you and stay with that for now. Feel that your feet are sturdy on the floor and that you're completely supported in your seated position. Today we'll be exploring yet another object for awareness, sensations in the body. It's a fact that the body is always found in the present moment, even if the mind has a tendency to be somewhere else. Because of this, sensations in the body, which of course are occurring only in the present moment, can serve as a focus for our meditation. In other words, if you feel a particular sensation in the body right now, then you are present right now. In this way, the body can help anchor the mind in the present moment as we attend to the flow of sensations that appear, linger, and then shift and pass on as new sensations arise. This particular meditation can be especially helpful if you're experiencing some type of strong physical sensations. We will be exploring how bringing a kind curiosity to the moments of intensity can sometimes allow for a different relationship with difficult or even painful sensations. This may bring some easing of discomfort and can be helpful in managing pain as your mindfulness skills improve. So let's explore awareness of breath and sensations in the body. And perhaps begin with establishing yourself in this seated position, embodying wakefulness with a sense of uplift. The spine is straight but not rigid. Allow the shoulders to drop away from the ears, resting the hands comfortably, closing your eyes if it's comfortable for you, or gazing down toward the floor to help you go inside. Work your way towards stillness. When you're ready, become aware of the parts of the body that are making contact with the floor or the cushion or your chair. Notice any sensations or pressure or heaviness at these points of contact. Notice where the hands may be touching the legs or making contact with each other. Notice if there's any sense of holding or tightness anywhere in the body. And if you like, perhaps, if you do notice any of these sensations, then maybe on the next out breath, see if it's possible to just let go a little bit. Even though we're sitting in an erect posture, a posture that embodies dignity and wakefulness, still allow there to also be a sense of ease in the posture. When you're ready, become aware of the fact that you're breathing. Notice the sensations of the breath as it enters the body and leaves the body. Maybe you notice the sensations of breathing at the nostrils, where the air enters the nostrils, moves through the nasal passages, and then of course moves through the entire body. Notice the air as it leaves the body through the nostrils. Perhaps notice the sensation as it crosses the upper lip. Or maybe sense the air in the chest, the breathing sensations in the chest, the rise of the chest on the in-breath, the lowering on the out-breath. Sense the expansion and contraction of the lungs as they fill and then empty. Perhaps the sensation of breathing is the most vivid and accessible for you a little deeper down in the area of the belly. Sense the expansion of the in-breath at the belly, the contraction of the belly on the out-breath. And then notice where you can connect the best with the breath. That's easily accessible for you to watch the breath. And stay there for these next few minutes, allowing the mind to just stay with the breath, right in that particular area of the body, wherever it is. Whether it's at the nostrils or in the chest, a little deeper down in the belly, or maybe it's just the movement of the breath itself as it comes into the body. The slight pause as the breath turns, and the movement as it leaves the body on the out-breath. Wherever the sensations are the most easily accessible and vivid, stay there. Do your best to just follow the breath, allowing the mind to ride on the waves of the breath, the way that a leaf might ride on the ripples of a pond. As we sit with awareness of the breath, you may find that the mind has a tendency to wander. Depending on the particular quality of the mind that you're experiencing today, it may be more or less challenging for the mind to simply stay with the breath. And so if and when you notice that the mind has wandered, as is no longer just with the breath, then as soon as you notice that the mind has gotten caught up in some other aspect of this moment, maybe caught up in thinking, planning, daydreaming, fantasy, worries, or whatever, as soon as you notice that the mind has wandered and is no longer simply with the breath, then just notice where the mind has gone. And without giving yourself a hard time, just come back to the breath. Come back to this breath, whether it's an in-breath or an out-breath. And resume the close connection, moment by moment, with breath, coming and going. It is in the nature of the mind to wander, and so when this happens, it's perfectly normal and not a problem at all. It's simply an opportunity to practice coming back. Come back to this moment. Come back to this breath. We simply aim our attention on the breath and do our best to sustain that focus. And when we notice that the mind has wandered, we aim our attention again. And in this way, we increase our capacity to attend in a very special and particular way to this moment, this breath. If you'd like, perhaps allow the awareness to expand and maybe begin with the sensations around the breath and wherever you've been attending to it. Allow the awareness to expand out and include more of the body and awareness. Perhaps again becoming aware of those parts of the body that are making contact with the floor or your cushion or your chair. Notice whatever sensations there are to be noticed. Become aware of the hands. Perhaps notice the sensation of the air where it may be caressing the back of the hands, or how it feels where the hands are making contact with the legs or each other. Maybe even sense the hands from the inside, perhaps aware of a little sense of tingling or aliveness on the inside of the hands. Gradually allow that awareness to spread throughout the entire body so that there's a sense of the whole body sitting, the whole body breathing. Not really looking for something to feel in the body, but opening up to any sensations that might be presenting themselves moment by moment. Perhaps notice sensations coming and sensations going. Or maybe sensations lingering. Any quality of warmth or coolness, tightness, looseness, tingling, fullness, emptiness. Just notice what's here in this body right now. time to time, as we sit with an awareness of sensations in the body, from time to time you may notice sensations arise that are particularly intense. And sometimes those sensations may be associated with the posture. And so if you notice sensations of intensity, tingling, tightness, burning, itching, discomfort, or even pain, you really have two choices. And either of them may be the skillful thing to do depending on the circumstances. So if you notice particularly intense sensations that make it difficult to attend to the body sitting and breathing, then one option would be to make an adjustment in the posture that might alleviate some of the discomfort. And if you choose to do this, the suggestion would be, before you make any movement or adjustment, that you decide exactly what you're going to do, and then execute the movement with great mindfulness, fully aware of the transition as you are moving. And then once you've made the movement, settling back into stillness. This is a perfectly acceptable alternative. The other choice, however, is rather than moving the body when you notice particularly intense sensations, rather than moving the body, instead, bring the mind right into that area of the body where you're experiencing the intensity, right into the shoulders or the small of the back or the knee or wherever it is. Allow the sensations themselves to become the focus of your meditation. And see if it might be possible to breathe right into that area of the body. Send the breath right into the area of the body and notice if perhaps, rather than tightening or resisting the sensations, there might instead be some sense of loosening or breathing some spaciousness around the sensations, so that even in the midst of the intensity, there might be some acceptance. The quality of kind curiosity about the sensations. Notice as you do this, the sensations may have a tendency to change all on their own. Notice if they tend to wave or shift or fade, and whether or not this happens, just noticing. Just being aware of what does happen. And if and when the intensity subsides, which it tends to do, perhaps return to a sense of the whole body sitting and breathing moment by moment. In just a few moments, I'll be ringing a chime to signal the end of this period of meditation. But before that happens, perhaps take a moment to express some appreciation to yourself. Maybe even some appreciation to this body. There can be a tendency to ignore the body altogether, or to focus only on those aspects of the body that are giving us trouble or that we wish were different. And so right now, perhaps just take a moment to extend some heartfelt appreciation and kindness and compassion to this body just as it is. Just as it is right now. Acknowledging the effort that this body extends every day. Acknowledging the effort that you brought to this period of practice, and perhaps giving yourself some appreciation for the effort you're bringing to waking up in your own life. To being present for the moments of your life and not missing it. And just continuing to rest with the sense of the breath in the body until the chimes signal the end of this period of practice.